What, are we supposed to just stand around and not listen to a bunch of speeches? No! Today is when we take our stand.
What are you even talking about?
I don't even know. I've written so many of those, my brain is basically mush at this point. Anyway.
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today's reaction is the Rings of Power pitch meeting. Now, before we get into this, I need to preface this by saying that my knowledge about the Rings of Power, the whole lore behind it, and the lore behind Lord of the Rings in general, I don't really have much on. I did remember seeing the Lord of the Rings movies back in the day, but I do not remember them because I haven't seen them in a very long time. So when it comes to me giving my overall review on this show at the very end of this video, just keep that in mind. I just want to give that to you guys for full transparency so you guys know where I'm coming from. But before we get into the reaction, if you enjoy other pitch meetings, I've reacted to a ton of them for you, and I react to them after each and every release of them. And if you want to see future reactions that I do, you can go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring notification bell, because I want to let you see past, present, and future reactions that I do. But also helps me with the algorithm, helps to get more eyes on my channel. Speaking of getting eyes on channels, go on over and support Ryan George's channel. He's the guy who does all these, and the pitch meeting channel as well. I'll leave both of those links along with many other things in the description. And without any further ado, let's go.
So, you have a new show for me?
Yes, sir, I do. I was thinking we make a Lord of the Rings show.
That's a recognizable name.
It sure is, sir. So all we have to do is spend a bunch of money on the rights, and it's a guaranteed hit.
And also make a good show that people will like, presumably.
I mean, yeah, no, we'll see how it goes.
Amazing. So what happens in this thing?
Well, it's gonna take place like thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? And we're gonna follow Galadriel.
Is that how people are gonna pronounce things the whole time?
Numenor.
It's pretty distracting.
Morgoth. Sauron.
Oh, please stop. Please stop that.
Sorry. So anyway, Galadriel's brother was killed by Sauron back in the day, so she's been trying to hunt him down.
Okay.
And nobody really believes her, but she's still like pushing on the search through the snow, risking people's lives, being real mean to everyone, and they're gonna get attacked by an ice troll.
Oh no.
Yeah, this thing's super strong. It's taken out elves, but then Galadriel is so strong, she takes this thing out with no problem at all.
Oh.
Yeah, she's so good, it's not even a danger for her.
Nope.
She was never in danger at all.
That's kind of...
So the main character's never in any danger?
Never, because she's so good. Not super exciting, actually.
Not a danger on her horizon. Nothing's a threat for her.
All right.
Anyway, so the other elves are like, okay, we'll stop putting us in danger, and they put her on a ship to Valinor.
Stop.
And so they're basically sending her there to get rid of her.
Oh, so what does she do?
Well, just as they're getting there, she decides to jump off the
Like,
ship
nah,
into the water.
I'm out.
Is she planning to swim back to Middle Earth?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the plan.
Yep.
Oh my god, you're serious.
She's Galadriel. She can do anything.
Right,
Literally anything.
okay.
And then as she's swimming back, she's gonna come across some shipwrecked people, including this one guy, Halbrand.
And what's his deal?
Oh, well, he and Galadriel are gonna kind of team up throughout the season, but then at the end of the season, there's gonna be this big reveal that he's actually Sauron. So while swimming across an ocean, Galadriel just happened to run into the evil being she's been looking for.
Yep.
Yes.
That works.
Okay, God. So eventually they end up at this place called Numenor.
And what happens there?
Well, she tries to convince the Queen Regent to give her a ship to go back to Middle Earth.
Oh, she's got to do some diplomatic relations, huh? How does she handle that?
With massive disrespect.
Oh.
You'll see, sir, this isn't the Galadriel we know from the Lord of the Rings movie. She's still young and immature.
Right, okay.
She's only a couple thousand years old at this point. Anyway, also during this season, we're gonna follow these little creatures called the Harfoots, and they're gonna find this really tall magical man who fell from the sky.
A tall, magical man, huh?
Yeah, and he's got a beard and long hair and a long robe.
So he's Gandalf?
Yep.
No?
That's definitely Gandalf, though, right?
Okay,
Yep.
well, sir, it's gonna be kind of
Yes.
a big reveal later.
No, it's not.
Obviously, being Gandalf is tight.
It's gonna be a big
It is
mystery,
tight.
sir.
No, it's not.
Okay, so anyway,
Nope.
the Harfoots that are taking care of this tall magic man, they're very loving and wholesome.
Oh, that's nice.
Unless you become a minor inconvenience to them, in which case they will leave you to die.
Oh, my god.
Oh, and also at the beginning of the season, these orcs are gonna be digging tunnels.
Like for fun?
No, they're up to something.
Oh.
And they're gonna end up attacking this freaking village in the Southlands.
Are the villagers gonna fight?
A lot of them are, yeah, because 2 or 3 times per episode, somebody stands up and gives an inspirational speech.
Kind of a lot of speeches.
It is a
There
lot of
is.
speeches. But what, are we supposed to just stand around and not listen to a bunch of speeches? No! Today is when we take our stand.
What are you even talking about?
I don't
speech.
even know. I've written so many of those, my brain is basically mush at this point. Anyway, this village is gonna get massacred by orcs.
Jeez.
Yeah, but luckily Galadriel spent 3 episodes begging the queen for an army, so they sweep in and save the day.
How'd they know where and when to show up?
Hey, shut up. So then Galadriel is gonna present that Hallbrand guy to the villagers and be like, by the way, this is the king of the Southland. So they're all like, oh my god, we have a king? That's great.
They're all just super happy. They don't have any questions about that.
That's
No.
right.
Why did she say this guy's king anyway?
Because he had this little royal emblem thing on him, but he says he got it off a dead guy.
That's pretty suspicious.
No, it's not. So everyone's on board with him
Very
being king.
suspicious.
All right.
Anyway, then this bad villager dude is gonna shove this magical sword into a giant Rube Goldberg machine that breaks a dam that fills up the orc tunnels with water, which makes a big volcano go off.
What?
Yeah, that just happened.
Why is that a thing?
And then freaking volcanic ash just swoops down and covers up the village, and Galadriel just stands there.
And
Man, it's gonna be tough
survives.
for people to survive that.
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the important characters just kind of survive. They do get covered in ash, let me tell you.
But-
very dirty people. A lot of cleanup they gotta do.
Pyroclastic flows almost 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep,
Right, yeah,
sure
no, right,
is.
that's pretty hot. I should mention that queen lady does go blind.
Oh, I guess her eyes were open.
I guess so. So she's like, I don't want people to know that I'm blind. So she puts a big red cloth over her eyes.
Yeah,
Smooth
that'll-
move. Yeah, that'll do it. Anyway,
Yep.
so then it turns out that that was the birth of Mordor.
Oh, how are we gonna show that?
The on-screen title is going to change to Mordor.
That works.
Oh, and another thing that's going on throughout the season is that Elrond,
he's from the Matrix movies.
that's kind of correct,
Yeah,
sir.
sure,
Anyway, he's
yep.
trying to get some info out of his dwarf friend, this guy Prince Durin.
And what's he trying to get?
Well, he's trying to find out what the dwarves are mining, and it turns out it's this stuff called mithril.
Okay.
But Durin makes Elrond take an oath that he's not going to tell anyone about this.
Oh, sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, very serious. But then Elrond's boss is going to be like, hey, are they mining that stuff? And he's going to be like, I can't tell you, I took an oath.
I mean, that pretty much confirms it, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%, yeah, it does. Anyway, the elves need this stuff or they're gonna die.
Why?
Because they'll die if they don't get it.
Oh, all right.
So then they get a little piece of it and they want to make it into some rings.
Oh boy, very important little circles.
And Halbrand's gonna suggest to Celebrimbor, one of the best craftsmen in the world, that he could combine some metals together to make the stuff stronger.
He's the best in the world and he hadn't thought of that?
That's what we're going with. Well, okay then.
So then they make the Rings of Power.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Wow.
And then Galadriel's gonna figure out that that guy is Sauron and confront him.
Oh, so he kills her?
He kind of yells and takes off to
No.
Mordor, actually.
Why?
For season 2, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, and those little Harfoots are finally gonna get confirmation that the tall stranger is good.
How do they find that out?
He's gonna be like, I am good.
That'll do it.
And so, yeah, that's about it. What do you think?
Well, I have to say, it's a very recognizable brand name.
It sure is.
sir.
So let's just make sure we make it in a way everybody's gonna love.
Absolutely, sir.
Or we just throw a bunch of money at it and hope it works out.
Oh, that sounds easier. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah. So I read up on some of the lore and what people were thinking about it. Not a whole lot of people enjoyed it. There were a few things that I did enjoy, though. I used to watch this show back in the day called Spartacus. It was on Stars. There was a few different iterations of it, basically just like telling like a different story. And it featured 3 different actors/actresses who appeared in this show. One of them being the queen, the one that went blind. She was in that show, so I appreciated seeing her. I also appreciate whenever a show or a movie rewards you for paying attention to things. There was a lot of bad there with paying attention, but as far as some of the good, the whole thing about her getting blind. Her father told her what awaited her was darkness. Obviously, darkness and blindness gonna go hand in hand there. Then you had like the little tunnel that they were sort of building. You didn't really know what it was for. And then, you know, a few episodes later, when you just completely forgotten about it, it's like, oh wait, they were doing that thing earlier. That's kind of cool. But that's kind of where the coolness stops for me. The reveal seemed very lackluster. The Sauron storyline didn't really make any sense because not only did by some chance she had to run into him, but he also made it painfully clear that he didn't want to go, and she that continuously had to convince him, and he even got in trouble once he got to this new place. So what? And then at the very end, he doesn't kill her. He just puts her in this dreamlike state to go through like different things or whatever to try to hopefully maybe have a union. But then he said something that set her off. It was something along the lines of ruling or something else. I forget what exactly it was, but it was a very simple phrase, but it ticked her off right away. And then, you know, he sort of went off and they made the 3 rings there at the end. And the rings looked cool. I did like how the rings looked. But the overall thing of this is I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it, rather. It kind of felt like, because I wanted to enjoy this show because I enjoy stuff like this. So I was watching at the very beginning and was like, oh, okay. It's like, well, I'm not really enjoying this too much. Let's see what happens. And then it sort of just became something along the lines of, okay, let's finish watching this show just so I understand what's happening here, so I can understand what's going on here. And like I said, I read up on the lore, afterward, and I realized just how much they screwed things up here. So that's going to do it for me, though. And before I go, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Luchador, Cruising, Wolver 310, Multi-Disturb 666, Jordan Burr, Lauren Davenport, Castor Cronich, Amber K, Raymond Bright, Joshi, Rollrunner 1967, Chris Curtis, Jeremiah McCarroll, Jose Acevedo, and brand new Patreon supporter, Lovero. And if you too like to have your name read at each every one of my videos, plus many other fun goodies, maybe having me react to a past pitch meeting or two, or checking out daily anime reactions, please head on over to patreon.com/TheDamnReactor. Link will be right there, and in the description with many different tiers for you to choose from. Also, if you'd like to have an easier way to get in contact with me, talk a little bit about this pitch meeting, maybe talk a little bit about Lord of the Rings, please head on over and join the channel Discord, where you also chat with others about other reactions that I've done, find out just a little bit more about me, or about this week's reaction schedule. And with that being said, comment down below, let me know what did you think about the Rings of Power. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also want to see past reaction on other pitch meetings. A nice playlist right over there for you. Share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, ring notification bell because I put new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.